Is there anybody that Trump, other than the people who suck around him like lampreys, like the Nazi Jew Stephen Miller, is there anybody? Oh, and his what the hell? His chief of staff. What's the chief of staff's name? Kelly. Other than those two, is there anybody left? Oh, and of course this insane little fucker from the former mayor of New York. He just runs around like his dick's on fire, you know, going from TV camera to TV camera. Oh, here's the latest. I guess you heard on Meet the Press on Sunday what happened. Goddamn. Chuck Todd told his audience in his first question to the TV lawyer Rudy Giuliani, Trump's attack dog, Todd said, quote, "I think our audience is going to be a little confused." Now, what he was referring to was the news that White House counsel, now remember, Donald McGahn is not Trump's lawyer. His job is to represent the White House, the building, the administration, nobody in particular, but actions taken by the White House. As far as attorney-client privilege between McGahn and Trump, essentially it doesn't exist unless there are certain, well, I don't think it even exists if there are certain instances where they spoke together. I don't know. But Donald McGahn represents the White House, not Trump. But anyway, Todd was referring to viewers being confused about Don McGahn, the White House attorney, White House counsel, cooperating with Robert Mueller's investigation. Todd could just as easily have been predicting viewers' reaction to Giuliani, who appeared on Meet the Press. Giuliani took lies and bullshit and smokescreens to a whole new level, including one phrase that will join, was it Kellyanne Conway's alternative facts? Remember when she said that? And Trump's no collusion. First, in discussing whether that June 2016 meeting at Trump Tower between the Russian intelligence, the Russian military intelligence, Trump's family members, what's his name, the one that's on trial right now, what's his name, Kathy? The one that's on trial, and yeah, Manafort. Too many names. In discussing that meeting, Chuck Todd brought up that if that's not collusion, then we need a new definition of the word collusion. and Giuliani then contradicted himself by saying this, and then 5 seconds later saying that. Here's what happened. Here's Giuliani. Well, because the meeting was originally for the purpose of getting information about Clinton, the meeting turned into a meeting, Todd, which is in itself attempted collusion. I understand. Giuliani. No, it's not. Todd, you just said it. The meeting was intended to get dirt on Hillary Clinton from a criminal lawyer. Giuliani. No, it wasn't. No. Todd, that was the intention of the meeting. You just said that. Giuliani just said, well, because the meeting was originally for the purpose of getting information about Clinton. And then he said, no, I didn't say that. Oh, my God. Talk about the crazy leading the crazy. Well, it sounded like Giuliani was trying to argue that the original purpose of the meeting really didn't matter. Collusion's not a crime. What the fuck? Right? And instead, he tied himself in knots and admitted to the president's initial claim about the meeting that it was for adoption of Russian children was a lie. I mean, he just fucking admitted it. Now, left unanswered, of course, is the question of why Trump misled the country in the first place. other than the fact that he's a pathological liar. Yeah, we'll play it in a second. But that wasn't the most remarkable part of the interview. That came when Giuliani explained why he feared rushing Trump into an interview with Mueller. Rushing? They've been trying to negotiate this for a fucking year. Chuck Todd. Truth is truth. Or no, Giuliani first. Oh, wait, you have the whole thing? All right, let's go ahead. Kathy has the audio, rather than my sitting here stumbling around trying to... hold on, let me figure out how my headphones work. Okay, go ahead and play it. This is from Meet the Press yesterday. With
delay the negotiations.
Yeah, yes,
Malloy.
each time by 3 or 4 days so we could write a letter in response. They have taken 2 to 3 weeks to get back to us. So what I have to tell you is, look, I'm not going to be rushed into having him testify so that he gets trapped into perjury. And when you tell me that, you know, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth. He didn't have a conversation
Truth is
about...
truth. I don't mean to go like...
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth. The President of the United States says, I didn't...
Truth isn't truth. Mr. Mayor, do you realize what...
No.
This is going to become a bad meme.
Don't do this to me.
Don't do truth isn't truth to me.
Donald Trump says, I didn't talk about Flynn with Comey. Comey says, you did talk about it.
What's that
Tell
got
me
to...
what the truth is.
Don McGahn might
If
know.
you're such a genius, Don McGahn doesn't know. If that's the situation,
Okay.
they have 2 pieces of evidence. Trump says, I didn't tell him, and the other guy says that he did say it. Which is the truth? Maybe you know right. Because you're
Under
a genius.
2 people, no, you're right. I don't read minds on that front. Let me ask you this final question.
No, let me finish. We have a credibility gap between the 2 of them. You got to select one or the other. Now, who do you think Mueller's going to select? One of his best friends, Comey, or the president, who he has been carrying on a completely wild, crazy, unorthodox investigation?
Is it possible he makes a conclusion based on who's been more truthful over the years?
It's possible that he'll make the conclusion on which of the 2 statements is more logical, which of the 2 statements has more common sense. Yeah, it's possible he can do that.
Holy jumping Jesus. And of course, the rest of the interview. The rest of the interview just got worse. That's. I mean, how does anyone pretend like Giuliani is even remotely rational? Do you know what is really fun to watch, if you can stomach it, is Giuliani and that little shit Sean Hannity. When they get together on the Fox sewer, the back and forth, it's unbelievable stuff. Oh, my God. Now, Giuliani, of course, you heard the way he shifted it away immediately from the June 16th, 2016 meeting with Russian military intelligence and the Trump family, shifted it away to Comey and Flynn and Trump. And, of course, Chuck Todd, who's not the brightest bulb in the marquee, let's be honest. Come on. And Chuck Todd just lets that shit float right past him. And instead of saying, wait a minute, what are you talking? Hold on. Forget Flynn. Forget Comey. We're talking about the Trump family meeting with Russian military intelligence. But Chuck Todd didn't do that. Now, Giuliani, of course, is not the first Trump thug to claim that Mueller is trying to invite Trump into a perjury trap. That's when a prosecutor, without any legitimate investigative purpose, subpoenas someone for the purpose of catching them in a lie and then charging them with perjury. That's a perjury trap, right? But Giuliani knows that, as former federal prosecutor Randall Eliason explained, and this is from, where's this from? Where did I get this morning? This is from the Washington Post. Randall Ellison explained in a Post op-ed the so-called perjury trap excuse does not apply here, given that Mueller has numerous understandable reasons to interview Trump. Just for example, a sit-down between Trump and Mueller could help determine whether Trump or former director James Comey is telling the truth. To make the so-called perjury trap claim work, therefore, Giuliani is trying to argue that this truth and others simply can't be determined, and therefore a Trump-Mueller meeting is pointless, which of course is utterly false. But that's why Giuliani's been hired. This snaky little fucker, his sole purpose is to keep pumping smoke into the conversation, keep kicking dirt, obscure the facts, try to hide this guilty son of a bitch that's in the White House. Now, truth isn't truth. It's going to become an enduring phrase from this whole thing. It's kind of like Bill Clinton's, it depends on what the meaning of the word is. You remember that? Oh, my God. And in 3 words, truth isn't truth. Giuliani perfectly captures Trump's view of facts. Truth isn't truth. And by extension, the views of his flacks and his diehard fans. Those people, those mouth breathers, those ones that give the finger to the camera, the screaming, obscenity-spewing crazed. And these are Nazi rallies. It's just fucking unbelievable. And White as this. Did Trump talk about Flynn with Comey? If that's open to interpretation, that's a question. It only requires yes or no. It only allows yes or no. If the question is going to retain its integrity, did Trump talk about Flynn with Comey? By integrity, I don't mean its truthfulness. I mean its integration. It's a question. Did Trump talk about Flynn with Comey? If that's open to interpretation, nothing can be proved and no one can be found guilty. And that's just the way this crazy fucker in the White House likes it.